Робополис БГ. Добре дошли в света на роботите за дома и офиса, градината и басейна. Богат избор на роботи за почистване на прозорци, самообслужващи се прахосмокачки роботи с моп, роботи-косачки и роботи за басейни. Всички модели са налични. Робополис БГ. Доверете се на опита.
Does the election of a new pope matter for wars and geopolitics? What do you think? Is it possible the next pope to be Ukrainian or Polish because of geopolitics?
Absolutely, I agree with you. Look, the Pope, the Catholic Church and the Vatican is always was, it is, and it always will be highly politicized institute. So, the Pope was changing from one nation, national to other, this was a sign of politicization of the Catholic Church of Vatican. So, in my opinion, I think we will see maybe like a Romanian or Polish or even Ukrainian Pope, because it's a highly politicized institute. And yes, also it is a major backstone of European Union and the NATO, the Vatican.
Maybe tombstone, not backstone, maybe tombstone for Europe. Because that mean war, because Catholic against Orthodox will be a new war.
Okay, let me give you a short description of what is European Union is. After the fall of the Soviet Union, there were 16 republics, including the Russian Republic. There was 16 republics in Soviet Union. And this Soviet Union was combined from three blocks. One block was Pravoslav, second block was Central Asian, and the third block was Caucasic block. The Central Asian was and still is a Muslim bloc, Caucasian bloc, and the Russian Pravoslav bloc. Look, pay attention who were the first post-former Soviet republics who joined the European Union. It was the Baltics, which are part of the Pravoslav bloc. It was Moldova, Latvia, Litva, Estonia. Now they are trying to draw in Ukraine, and what is left is Russia and Belarus. Now the Central Asian, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Azerbaijan, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan, they are Muslim. None of them became the European Union member. The European Union didn't even try to make them members of the European Union. And now who does this European Union tries to make their members? Georgia, Armenia, Ukraine, and Estonia, Litva, Latvia, and Moldova already became. Turkey is a NATO member, but the European Union refuses to make it a European Union member. Do you know why? Look, it's obvious that the European Union does not want to include any Muslim state. They are trying to include only Christian, Catholic, Protestant, or Pravoslav. European Union is nothing more than a crusade of the Catholic Church of the Vatican. This is a crusade from the 15th century.
To where?
Nothing changed.
To where? Crusade to where? To East?
Yes, they are trying to rebuild their Catholic empire, center of which is Vatican. And they are trying to make all the countries that they are made forcefully or not forcefully their members to change their values and their religion. The Protestant, the Christian, and the Pravoslav, slowly by slowly, they are trying to make it a Catholic. This is a crusade. Now, when we took the mask off European Union, you can understand, and I'm prognosing, I'm analyzing that in future, European Union, if it won't collapse, it will keep trying to make its members Georgia, Armenia, and Ukraine, maybe in future Belarus. So this will lead to continuation of permanent state of conflict with Russia. In case European Union does not collapse, which I think is a high chance that European Union might also collapse.
Mm-hmm. Do you know this historical person, Balduin from Flandria, Flandersky? Do you know the history?
It's a Bulgarian hero?
No. We fight with crusaders, Balduin crusaders here on Adrianopolis, and we have a victory against the crusaders here.
Yes, yes, I heard about this story, yes.
And Balduin was cut off here in Veliko Trnovo.
So unfortunately for your country, you probably might face another crusade. Because I'm sure, I have no proof, but I'm sure, because I don't read your local newspapers, but I'm absolutely positively sure that slowly by slowly, your church, your Pravoslavic church, the West is trying to replace with Catholic Church.
We have new patriarch now, and I think you are not right in this moment because of patriarch, because of the new patriarch.
But I think they will try to transform your church with Catholic Church.
Yeah,
in near future.
They try from a lot of years. Simon, we repeat the history. Do you know the history of Bulgaria before Turkish invasion? Crusaders, they collapsed the Constantinople, and after that come the Turkish, they collapsed the Byzantium. You understand? After that yes. Come the Turkish, and we have from north Catholics and Crusaders, from southeast the Turkish tribes, Osman tribes, to be
yes.
correct. We repeat the history in this moment, maybe is the same. Do you agree with me? The situation is the same.
I agree with you absolutely. Not only you repeat, but the whole world repeats the history of Crusaders, the history of Ottoman Empire, and the history of British Empire. So yes, nothing changed. Actually, I'm absolutely confident that it's a fact that the Britain is actually a continuation. Let me begin from the beginning. The Roman Empire collapsed into two small empires, the Byzantine and the Holy Roman Empire. Yeah. Now the British are the continuation of the Holy Roman Empire. The Germany was continuation of the Holy Roman Empire, and now United States is continuation of the Holy Empire, which is continuation of the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
They have symbols in the Senate and in the Congress. They are not trying even to hide it. Now the Byzantine Empire is actually the continuation of the Byzantine Empire is today's Russian Federation. And all the Eastern European countries, states, which were part and continue to be part of the Byzantine Empire, Romania, Poland, Bulgaria, Serbia, the Balkans. And this is the fight between former parts of the Roman Empire, the Holy Roman Empire, against the Byzantine Empire. Nothing changed. For the 2,000 years, we have the same, but in different form.
Yeah. Our territories are Platzdarm for these battles.
Yes, I will tell you more. I absolutely agree with you. Your state, Bulgaria, it's the Platzdarm, and it happened 30 years ago when President Erdogan came to power in Turkey. Before that, the Turkish were the Platzdarm, and it was the Platzdarm in the middle of three continents, Europe, Eurasia, and Middle East. Yeah. And now we understand that Turkey already chosen a side. Turkey wants to become part of the Middle East, and the leader of the Middle East what is left between Turkey and Europe? Bulgaria. Now you are standing as a platform, as a defender of Europe from the Middle East. Do you understand this?
No. This is very bad news if you are right for us.
Yes, you are actually the last protector of the Pravoslav European civilization, and you are facing the Middle Eastern Islamic civilization, because Turkey now chose the side. It chose its side, because for many years Turkey couldn't choose and couldn't decide.
Yeah.
Now Turkish are threatening Israel, so they are trying to take over. They already took over almost the whole Syria, so they chose the side after the fall of Assad. A month ago, this geopolitical balance of forces extremely changed. And as I see, unfortunately for you, your leadership did not understand, didn't even notice this change. But it is the most major change in the 21st century. Now Bulgaria faces, and this is the last protector before the whole ocean of the Islamic world, which is facing the European continent.
You know, in Bulgaria, nobody speaks nothing for Turkey. Not bad word, not good word. Turkey is our friend, and that's all. Turkey is our neighbor, and that's all. The enemy is Russia. Turkey, everything's okay with Turkey. Why do you make us to be afraid?
Well, I'm not trying to make you to be afraid, but I can tell you something positive. Inside Turkey, inside the Turkish regime, and inside the Turkish society, there is also a major conflict between pro-European and pro-Muslim blocks of society. So in my opinion, Turkey faces a major crisis inside Turkey, because Erdogan soon will leave his post. I don't know if it will be peacefully or violently, but he will leave his post of the leader of Turkey. And they already have a struggle for power inside Turkey. There are, we can call it positive Turkish and negative Turkish, because the positive are willing to become part of Europe, but the more radical are willing to become part of the Muslim world, Islamic world, and they, in their view, they are willing to take over Europe, because they consider Europe as their former territory of the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah.
This is easy as that. So, but they have a lot of challenges. Russia is their one challenge. Israel, the state of Israel, is their second challenge on their way towards Europe and towards taking over the Middle East. United States is their third challenge. Bulgaria is supposed to be also a strong country to become a challenge, but unfortunately, Bulgaria not strong enough to be considered as a challenge for the Turkish.
Yeah. We have one F-16. You know this? We have one. This is a big challenge. How many fighters, how many planes have Turkey? Fighters.
Turkey have
planes.
Besides that, it has a few hundreds of flying jets, but they also one of their major advantages is that they have fighters from both the American fighters and the Russian fighters. So they have MiGs, they have Su, and they have F-16. So they know how to fight. All the fighters of both the West and the East, and it's a major advantage for them, because they can use the fighters from the Middle East and from Europe, and well, it's problematic. And the second most crucial advantage for Turkey is that it sits on two major sea canals the Bosphorus and Dardanelles, and they can actually provoke a war with Russia, or they have a leverage on Russia because they can close or they can open the Bosphorus Dardanelles when they want. So the Black Sea Navy, the Russian Black Sea Fleet, is actually dependent on Turkey, and this is a big advantage for Turkey, and a big and major, huge disadvantage for Russia. So they have much more resources on global geopolitics than anyone can even think of.
What's going with Turkey? Are you ready for the war with Turkey? Because somebody says Americans are going out from Syria, and now somebody predicted that you need 72 hours and will be war between you, the state of Israel, and Turkey.
There is much more in common between Bulgaria and Israel than anyone can envisage, because you share with Turkey the Black Sea and the border, and we, Israel, share the same continent with Turkey, and almost the same border, because before the fall of Bashar Assad, it was a buffer zone between Turkey and us. Now there is no Syria, only Lebanon, which is a very small piece of land. So we are almost facing Turkey directly on our continent, and you are facing Turkey directly on your continent, on land and on sea, on the Black Sea. And unfortunately for you, Bulgaria have a very weak navy, Black Sea Navy. I don't know if you even have one.
No,
so
no, nothing. We have.
Yes, and you are unfortunately for you, your state is not ready for the challenges of the 23rd century. Now, answering your question, yes, there is a risk of a major war between Turkey and Israel, and this is a point of cooperation. I said it before and I say it again. There is a very strong point of cooperation between Bulgaria and Israel. We can share intelligence, we can share military technology, we can share intelligence, SIGINT, human, space technology. So I don't know why both countries, my and your, does not use these resources, because we have a common challenge in the Middle East and the European continent.
I will explain to you. Our politics are very afraid for their money in Turkey, for their maybe real estates, I don't know, but they are afraid and they want to be quiet with Turkey. And you, every time when we speak with you, every time you say, we need cooperation between us, but nobody in Bulgaria will make this cooperation. Do you hear something, somebody from our politics to say something to you, contacts? Do you know something for contacts between us and you?
Well, I know about some of the contacts, but I can also give you one example why your politicians are afraid to cooperate with our country, with Israel. Because your politicians, besides that they are afraid losing their property, etc., as you said, they are also afraid to provoke Islamic Muslim radical circles from abroad and inside Bulgaria.
Yeah.
And also especially the Turkish radical Islamic circles. Once you announce openly that you are cooperating with Israel, you will have some problem with the Islamic radicals inside Bulgaria, which is absolutely understandable from our side, from Israel. Not many countries are willing to cooperate with Israel because they are afraid of the internal Islamic or Muslim radical radical Islamic circles. And some of these countries pay the price for cooperating with Israel. For example, Germany, France, Italy, and Spain, they are they have a big and wide cooperation with Israel, but they also face internal radical Islamic problems inside because of this. So I can understand your leadership that you are afraid not to provoke Islamic or semi-Islamic or Turkish radical circles inside Bulgaria because you have a lot. You have a huge community. So this is one of the reasons why you are not openly cooperating with Israel. Might be one of the reasons why you are cooperating, but silently.
I didn't hear nothing for silent cooperation. Let's speak about Gaza a little bit. Can we say that Palestinians were expelled from Gaza yet?
Well, obviously they weren't expelled, but this is the program of, this is the Donald Trump's plan to rebuild Gaza without the Palestinians, to take over the territory.
This is your plan too? This is your Israel plan too?
This is the Israeli plan of the far right, not the left. Because the left are not willing to make such a plan, to realize such a plan, because it's against the human rights and etc. The left or the far left or the radical left actually are supporting the program of announcing and creating Palestinian state side by side with Israel. This is a radical view. Our far right actually supporting the Donald Trump's plan to take over Gaza Strip. But Donald Trump said that he is not planning to give this territory to Israel. He is planning to take it to himself, to build a Middle Eastern Riviera on the place of Gaza.
Are you agree with this? Is it possible? Are the Jewish people agree with this?
Well, half of the society, the far right, actually agree with this. I think it's a genius because once you take the territory, you eliminate the Hamas without a war, because Hamas will not have any territory to operate on. I think it's a genius plan. But from the other point of view, where will you send more than 2 million Palestinians? By the way, Trump is now working on convincing Egypt, Jordan, and some other Arab countries or Muslim countries to take these refugees, and even some European leaders to take these refugees. And if the Europe, for the last 10 years, the Europe could receive more than 11 million of refugees from all over the world, including Africa and Middle East, there is no problem to taking 2 million more.
Simon, this is ridiculous. This is injustice for these people, for the
Wait. You ask me not my personal opinion, but what the people think in Israel. So okay. I'm telling you that some of the people actually consider this plan as a workable plan. But the left is actually thinking like you, that this is a violation of the human rights, which you cannot not to agree with. And you don't know where to accommodate these people. But from the geopolitical and military point of view, this is a genius plan, because once you take the territory, there will be no Hamas. So there will be no terroristic attacks against Israel, because this land will be occupied by a friendly regime or friendly power. And even Egypt actually expressed some interest in this plan and is willing to take a major part of Palestinians on its territory, on the Sinai Peninsula. So in my opinion, this is the best resolution and the best plan until today, which was actually announced.
Simon, from 35 years, the West, the modern West, say to me, human rights forever. And now this, what is this? This is not fair for the normal people. No, it's no matter they're Palestinians or.
Let me give you one more example about human rights and how ridiculous this is. Now, as we speak, in Syria, there is a ethnical cleansing against the Alawi and against the Kurds and against the Christians. For over 1 year, there is a cleansing. There are crimes against humanity. Did you ever hear that someone speaks about it?
Yes, one guy in Facebook. One guy, yeah.
Yeah. So it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I understand this. This is the Western politics, the Western what we receive from Western. This is unfair. Thank you, Sаймън, for this interview. Are you optimist for the, I will say, for the third world war? Are you optimist?
Well, as of now, I think the chances are not good, because chances are 50-50 that a major war might erupt between Russia and NATO, which means because NATO have, I think, more than 25 members, it will be a world war. And the other 50% of the chance that there will be no war, only in case Trump succeeds in his efforts to put on the negotiation table the Russian and the Ukrainian side, and there is absolutely necessity to change the European leaders, because this old school Cold War leadership is leading European Union to a catastrophe.
This is a very important final of our conversation. We must change the European leader. That's my opinion too. We must change these stupid guys.
We do. We are.
They're old, they're aggressive, and they're stupid. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Thank you one more time, Sаймън, for this conversation.
Always my pleasure, Martin.
Be healthy.